from the world's oldest continuous civilization to modern superpower. From ancient emperors claiming the mandate of heaven to the Great Wall stretching 13,000 miles. This is the entire history of China. Over 4,000 years of dynasties, revolutions, and inventions compressed into 12 minutes. The story of 1/5 of humanity and the civilization that never died. Chinese civilization begins in legend. According to myth, the Yellow Emperor united warring tribes around 2700 BCE, establishing Chinese culture. Archaeology proves civilization emerged along the Yellow River over 4,000 years ago. The Shang dynasty from around 1600 to 1046 BCE is the first we can verify. The Shang developed early Chinese writing, oracle bone script, where priests carved questions on turtle shells, heated them until they cracked, then interpreted patterns to divine the future. These bones proved ancient Chinese texts weren't just mythology. The Shang perfected bronze casting and were buried with incredible wealth, along with hundreds of human sacrifices. Shang society was sophisticated but brutal. In 1046 BCE, the Zhou dynasty overthrew the Shang, claiming the mandate of heaven, the revolutionary idea that heaven grants rulers the right to govern only if they rule justly. This concept would legitimize every Chinese revolution for 3,000 years. The Zhou lasted over 800 years, but their control weakened. The Warring States period, from 475 to 221 BCE, saw 7 major kingdoms battle for supremacy for 2.5 centuries, but chaos sparked genius. This era produced China's greatest philosophers: Confucius, who taught ethical government and social harmony; Laozi, founder of Taoism, preaching harmony with nature; Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War, the most influential military treatise ever written. These thinkers shaped Chinese civilization and influenced the entire world. In 221 BCE, the kingdom of Qin conquered all rivals. Its young king declared himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, claiming to found a dynasty lasting 10,000 generations. He had unified China for the first time, creating a centralized empire that would define Chinese political structure for 2,000 years. The first emperor was revolutionary and tyrannical. He standardized writing, currency, measurements, and axle widths. He built roads and canals. He ordered defensive walls connected and extended, creating the foundation of the Great Wall, the largest construction project in human history. But the first emperor burned books and buried scholars alive to suppress dissent. He built a massive tomb guarded by the famous Terracotta army, over 8,000 life-sized clay soldiers, each with unique features. When he died in 210 BCE, his dynasty collapsed immediately. His promise of 10,000 generations lasted just 15 years. The Han dynasty emerged in 206 BCE and lasted over 400 years, so successful that ethnic Chinese still call themselves Han people today. The Han established the template for Chinese governance, a centralized bureaucracy staffed by educated officials selected through examinations. This meritocratic system was revolutionary. Emperor Wu, ruling from 141 to 87 BCE, was China's greatest imperial conqueror. His armies pushed into Central Asia, Korea, and Vietnam. He established the Silk Road connecting China with the Middle East and Rome, exchanging silk, spices, and ideas across Eurasia. Han China was a golden age. Paper was invented around 105 CE, revolutionizing record-keeping. Chinese iron production exceeded Europe's for over 1,000 years. Buddhism arrived from India, but by 220 CE, corruption and rebellions destroyed the Han. China fragmented into the Three Kingdoms period. For nearly 400 years after the Han collapsed, China remained divided. Northern China was conquered by nomadic peoples, while southern China preserved Han culture. Buddhism spread rapidly during this troubled era. In 581 CE, the Sui dynasty briefly reunified China. Though lasting only 37 years, the Sui built the Grand Canal, a 1,100-mile waterway connecting northern and southern China. This engineering marvel is still in use today, the world's oldest and longest canal. In 618 CE, the Tang dynasty seized power and presided over China's golden age. For nearly 300 years, Tang China was the world's most advanced civilization. Its capital, Chang'an, held over 1 million people, making it Earth's largest city. Foreign merchants, diplomats, and monks from across Asia filled its streets. Tang culture dazzled. Poetry reached its zenith with masters like Li Bai and Du Fu. Woodblock printing was invented. Buddhism reached its peak influence. Chinese culture spread throughout East Asia, Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. All adopted Chinese writing and government systems. The Tang refined the civil service examination system, but a massive rebellion from 755 to 763 CE killed millions. Though the Tang survived another 150 years, its power never recovered. When the dynasty collapsed in 907 CE, China again fragmented. In 960 CE, the Song dynasty reunified most of China, beginning an era of remarkable technological advancement despite military weakness. The Song never controlled as much territory as the Tang, constantly threatened by powerful northern neighbors. In 1127, northern China was conquered, forcing the Song to relocate south. But the southern Song dynasty presided over a commercial revolution. Cities exploded in sophistication, paper money was invented, a market economy emerged with merchants prospering. The examination system expanded, creating a true meritocracy. Song China experienced a technological renaissance. Gunpowder was weaponized into bombs, rockets, and primitive guns, forever changing warfare. The magnetic compass enabled better navigation. Movable type printing made books cheaper. These three Chinese inventions, gunpowder, the compass, and printing, would eventually transform the world. Neo-Confucianism developed during the Song, synthesizing Confucian ethics with Buddhist and Taoist metaphysics. Landscape painting reached sublime heights. Chinese porcelain became the world's finest, so prized that Europeans called fine porcelain China after the country. But military weakness proved fatal. In 1206, Genghis Khan united Mongolian tribes and created the most devastating war machine in history. Mongol armies conquered with unmatched brutality, creating the largest contiguous land empire ever known. Genghis Khan's grandson Kublai Khan completed China's conquest. In 1279, when the last Song emperor drowned fleeing battle, China fell completely under foreign rule for the first time. Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty, making Beijing his capital. The Mongol conquest was catastrophic. Millions died. The famous Marco Polo served in Kublai Khan's court, later writing descriptions of China's wealth that amazed Europeans. But the Mongols remained foreign occupiers. After less than a century, Chinese resentment erupted in rebellion. In 1368, Zhu Yunzhang, a former peasant, drove out the Mongols and established the Ming dynasty. The Ming would rule for 276 years, restoring Han Chinese control. The Yongle Emperor built the Forbidden City, the magnificent palace complex that still stands as one of the world's most impressive architectural achievements. The early Ming engaged in unprecedented maritime exploration. Admiral Zheng Hu commanded 7 massive expeditions between 1405 and 1433, with fleets of hundreds of ships reaching Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and East Africa. These treasure fleets dwarfed anything Europe would produce for centuries. But after 1433, China abruptly stopped these voyages and turned inward. Ming China prospered through trade and manufacturing. New World crops like corn and potatoes allowed population growth. Chinese porcelain and silk were exported worldwide. The Great Wall was extensively rebuilt during this period, creating the massive stone structure tourists visit today. By the 1600s, Ming decline accelerated. Court corruption and peasant rebellions weakened the government. In 1644, as rebels captured Beijing, the last Ming emperor hanged himself. The Manchu people from northeast China invaded, seizing the opportunity to conquer all of China. The Manchu established the Qing dynasty, China's last imperial dynasty. Though foreign conquerors, the Manchu adapted to Chinese culture while maintaining their distinct identity. The Qing dynasty's first 150 years brought prosperity and expansion. By 1800, the Qing Empire held 1/3 of the world's population, over 300 million people. But this success concealed fatal weaknesses. Century of humiliation to rebirth, 945 to 1130. The 19th century brought disaster. European powers, industrialized and aggressive, demanded trade access. When China refused British opium imports, Britain launched the First Opium War in 1839. China's outdated military was crushed. The Treaty of Nanking forced China to cede Hong Kong and open ports, the beginning of what Chinese call the Century of Humiliation. The Taiping Rebellion from 1850 to 1864, history's deadliest civil war with perhaps 20 million deaths, nearly destroyed the Qing. In 1895, Japan defeated China and seized Taiwan. Foreign powers carved China into spheres of influence. The Boxer Rebellion in 1900 was crushed by international forces. China had become the sick man of Asia. In 1911, revolution overthrew the Qing dynasty, ending 2,000 years of imperial rule. Sun Yat-sen established the Republic of China, but warlords controlled most of the country. Japan invaded in 1937, committing horrific atrocities including the rape of Nanking. A civil war raged between Chiang Kai-shek's nationalists and Mao Zedong's communists. They temporarily united against Japan during World War II, but resumed fighting afterward. Despite American support, the nationalists lost. On October 1, 1949, Mao proclaimed the People's Republic of China. Chiang fled to Taiwan. Mao transformed China through radical communist policies, but his great leap forward from 1958 to 1962 caused the worst famine in human history. Estimates range from 15 to 55 million deaths. The Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976 unleashed chaos, destroying temples, art, and persecuting millions. When Mao died in 1976, Deng Xiaoping took power in 1978 and revolutionized China with economic reforms. While maintaining Communist Party control, Deng opened China to foreign investment and market economics. China's economy grew at nearly 10% annually for 3 decades. Hundreds of millions escaped poverty. By 2010, China had the world's second largest economy. From the Yellow Emperor's legendary unification to modern superpower, from oracle bones to space stations, from the Great Wall to global influence, China's journey spans over 4,000 years, the world's longest continuous civilization, surviving invasions, revolutions, and transformations that destroyed other civilizations. China invented paper, printing, gunpowder, and the compass, technologies that reshaped human history. It created philosophies that shaped a billion minds. It built monuments that still astound. It endured centuries of humiliation but rose again as a major world power. Which era fascinates you most? The First Emperor? The Silk Road? Mongol conquest? Or modern China's rise?